Tell you what, if this Phillies team can avoid the Cubs, the Rangers, the Blue Jays, and the Mets, they're going to win a World Series. As we welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance, along with Ricky Bottalico. No, I'm Michael Barkan, John Kruk in a moment. Ricky Bo, you can start with Noah Syndergaard. You can start with the clutch hitting. You can start with shoddy Reds defense any way you want them.
Yeah, I mean, you just pretty much mixed what the whole mixture would be. You kind of threw out there right at once. I thought Syndergaard was pretty good. I mean, the one thing that he's not afraid of is contact. He threw a lot of sinkers today. 49% of his pitches were sinkers. So almost half the pitches that he threw out there were sinkers. He's not trying to fool anybody. He's just telling you, here's what I have. I'm going to try to locate this thing either away or in, and I'm going to have you hit the baseball. I'm going to stay away from the barrel of your bat. And when you could do that the way he did it, because it wasn't like very impressive. I mean, when you think about it, he wasn't ahead of every hitter. He was probably close to 50%. I forgot the exact number. But, I mean, you're talking about a guy that is just saying, here. But he's using both sides of the plate. When you use both sides of the plate and you do it effectively with the movement he has, you're going to get a lot of outs. I mean, how many balls were hit hard? The one home run. Yeah. We were over at the ballpark, and you could see the one pitch that he left out over the plate, you knew it was out of there.
Let's check in with John Kruk at the ballpark. Call tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. John, I know that baseball's not a rah-rah sport, but still, tonight is a huge win, it would seem, because they took their lumps against the New York Mets. And a lesser team might have said, you know what, look what the Reds did. They were terrible. They dogged it. The Phillies did not do that, and I think that represents something positive, don't you?
Very much so, Michael. And you know, look, this was a really important game. I think maybe one of the most important games of the season because, you know, you just got – yesterday was a debacle, but, you know, you pretty much have been getting manhandled by the team that's leading the division. But here's the thing. You're not going to catch the Mets. And I know it's bad that you lose 3 out of 4 to the Mets, and no one likes to lose 3 out of 4 to the Mets. No one likes to ever lose to the Mets if you're a Phillies fan. But the good thing is San Diego and Milwaukee, they didn't do much either. And the Phillies were right there. So now, I keep hearing this, well, they're getting into a weaker part of their schedule. You know, they got Cincinnati, and then they got Pittsburgh, and then whoever. Yeah, that's great. If I'm a Phillies player, and I'm a Phillies coach or the manager, Rob Thomson, I'm going to remind these guys, you remember what happened when the Cubs came here, 25 games under 500, and they whipped our ass for 3 games. Remember that. They swept us here. And we're not going to let that happen now. And, you know, it's time. You know, the teams we have to beat, we have to beat. But it starts tonight, and Noah Syndergaard, Nick Castellanos, Alec Bohm, JT, they made sure, and Bryson Stott, they made sure that the Phillies were going to win this one tonight.
Bryson Stott is 6'3", 200 pounds, but he looks whip skinny when he's standing up there at the plate. That thing was like an upper decker, for goodness sakes.
He's just got a beautiful swing. And the thing with Bryson, the more you watch him, the more you understand that, he has really great bat speed. And that's huge. You don't have to be 6'5", 250 to hit a ball that far. If you have great bat speed and great leverage, which he does, the ball, when he connects, the ball's going to jump. And, when I saw him in spring training, I thought, if he could hit, 7, 8, 10 home runs a year, I think that'd be great for a shortstop or middle infielder. For him, I don't see now he gets more playing time. And all it is confidence. I said it on the air. Once they DFA Didi, he's the man. He's the shortstop. And that's not going to change. And he knows when he walks in there every day, he's going to play. Righty, lefty, don't matter. Now, if he gets a day off, it'll probably be against a lefty. I get that. But for the most part, he's going to be playing every day. And when you walk in there and you don't have to look at the board to see if you're playing, there's no greater confidence builder in the world as a young player to know that I ain't got to look no more. I know I'm playing, and I'm going to help produce this team. But he does have some whip in that bat, man. I mean, he has some great hands. Yeah. Oh, God, they're beautiful.
How about what a difference a day makes, John Kruk? You were grimacing yesterday. You were all upset.
Johnny, I'm happy you didn't say anything yesterday.
It came after that second homer by Canna. It almost came out.
I know it did. And half people were happy that it didn't, and half the people wanted to hear it. You know,
Yeah.
okay, maybe 60-40 the other way.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
I'll wait till the last game. The last game I know I'm announcing, and it'll come out then.
Right before the parade, you mean? The last game. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if they win the World Series this year, I don't think this is my last year.
I don't think so. I don't think it's your last year either. Even if Ricky and I have to drag you back in there.
You need a little better fanfare.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
I tell you what. If this is my last year announcing games, I promise you that I'll come on the post-game show from home.
Wait, so please, someone mark this tape at 10:53:05. All right.
Yeah.
But it's not your last year.
Get me on a Zoom call. I'm good at those.
You got that. Get out of here. We'll check you tomorrow. John Kruk
right,
from
guys.
the booth. Noah Syndergaard tonight was special, and he goes 7 innings again. And we heard Rob Thomson, Ricky Bo, talk about length. He wanted length from this guy.
That's all you've been getting from him. I mean, it has started in his first start, and it's kind of just gone up from then. Was it you that asked me, oh, yeah, are you a little surprised that Coonrod's coming to the game right now? It was not. You think about what Thor did in his last start, then went out in the 8th and ended up giving up a home run. I think that was on Rob Thomson's mind. But you look at his numbers, you say to yourself, there's no way. You see some of them there. He only had 1 strikeout in the game. You see only 3 hits. One of them was a home run. His pitches and strikes, that's fine. But when I looked and saw 43 swings and only 2 misses, you usually don't come up with those results that you see right there. The 7 innings, the 3 hits. It's movement. It's late movement. And you don't have to throw 100 miles an hour to throw with movement. You could throw anywhere from 89, 90 with movement, and you can get away with it sometimes as long as it's late breaking. And if you look at his pitches, you could tell by the swings that the hitters are swinging all the way out here, and all of a sudden the ball's moving in on their hands at the last minute. So you're talking about just a late breaking sinker and a late breaking ball going the other way. So he has those 2 pitches going in different directions, and it makes him effective. He's not afraid of anything. You'll see a lot of pitchers go out there and really try to nibble with your breaking stuff, or I call it breaking stuff because it's moving, with your sinker. But this is a guy that will throw it to the outside part of the plate, just let it come across the middle. As long as the way he's thinking, if I have enough movement, they're not going to do anything with it because they're not going to see it in the right spot.
ERA of over 4 after his first start with the Phillies, and then gets longer and longer, and now his ERA is down to 3.77.
He's chasing Noah.
He is Thor, is he not?
I'm not going with this Thor thing. He's Thor, that's his nickname.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Thor.
Yeah, I see what you're doing
That's
here.
right.
And by the way, you can throw as much bait in the water. I'm not biting.
I like it. Take a look at the playoff standings for your fighting Phillies and where they stand therein as they chase October again and have a real shot to get there for the first time in a decade. Phils are now tied with the idle Padres for the 2nd playoff spot. And you see the Braves have it virtually locked up. You never know. And then the Brewers 2 games back of the Phils and San Diego. Ricky Bo, how much? We talk about now 21 games in a row coming up against below 500 competition.
I told you earlier today that the Phillies are going to pick up games here. I mean,
you said 16-6.
16. Well, 1-0 right now.
Yeah.
So all we're talking is 15-6 now, right? I think this could be a good situation for the Phillies. I know people are going to look back to the Mets series and say, well, okay, there's a shot we make the playoffs, but even if we win the first round, it's the Mets or the Dodgers. Well, you never know when you get into that spot, until you get in that spot. You know, they did set up the playoff picture, so it actually favors the number 1 and 2 teams in the league, which I think is fair. Because, you know, sometimes a wild card spot is just that. It's a wild card. You kind of snuck in, and all of a sudden you somehow make it through. Oh, now when you make it through, you're going to be facing number 1 and number 2 and number 3 for the other team because they have 4 or 5 days of rest when you think about it. So there's obviously an advantage now for those teams that are better than everybody else at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, we're going to see, though, from the Philadelphia Phillies, because if they do what they might be able to, what that record you indicated would be, that would put some significant distance between Milwaukee and San Diego.
But you
have
to look at what you have here, what you're playing. You're playing the Reds. Do they look like a contender right now? No. You look at the Pirates? No. And then the list goes on.
Arizona, no.
San Francisco might be your toughest task in 22 games, 21 games left.
Rob Thomson said last week that this Phillies team is playoff bound. That's a quote from Rob Thomson. Here's Rob Thomson post-game moments ago.
Rob, after having watched Syndergaard now for about a month, what's stuck out about his performance? Is there anything you've kind of learned about him from watching?
Soft contact, I know he didn't get many swings and misses tonight, but 9 ground balls and a lot of soft fly balls, and that's what he's been doing. So it's been great. He's been giving us length, and we really need it tonight, obviously, because of our bullpen situation. But yeah, he's been fantastic, really.
What's that decision like after 7 innings? He's only on 89 pitches. Is it tough not to send him out there, or is it just you kind of got what you needed from him today and knew what you had?
Yeah, we talked afterwards, like after the 7th, and he said he was getting a little gassed, and I said that's enough then. We got it from here, and because we did have Sammy and Bell, and both those guys did a nice job. Sammy looked really good, by the way. Velocity jumped back up again, so that was good to see. And Bell walked the leadoff hitter, but he settled in and did a great job.
A little gimpy there. Was that quad again?
No. I just want to steal base. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Oh, and before I forget, and I meant to mention this morning or this afternoon, Sanchez will start on Wednesday, which will bump all those guys one day, just to give them an extra day. So it'll be Ranger tomorrow, Sanchez, and then Noah. Yeah. Because they were, that Mets series, we were grinding on them a little bit. A lot of high pitch counts in a short period of time. So I think this is the best thing, most prudent thing to do, and give those guys just an extra day and a little breather. Castellanos, great day. That was a long home run, and then the big double down the line. And by the way, great send by Dusty Wathan on the with JT, seeing the ball coming into second base, he just kept him going. Yeah, Casty looks good at the plate.
Just to get back on the winning side after the Mets thing.
Yeah, it feels great, but like I said before, these guys bounce back. They really do. They don't. Their memory isn't very long, and they just keep grinding away.
With Castellanos, is it just more confidence at the plate with him?
Yeah, I would think so. Swing looks good. He's backing the ball up. He's using the field, and confidence has a lot to do with that too. So he looks good right now.
The man, their memory isn't very long. I like that. As I've said before, these guys bounce back. The other thing I like, and I'm assuming you as well, Christopher Sanchez is going to start Wednesday. That would have been Aaron Nola's spot. And Nola will get it Thursday.
Okay,
he said to bump him back a ways, just to give him a breather. He said he thought it was the most prudent thing to do.
What does that tell you? That he didn't like what he saw from these guys, so he's trying to mix in that extra day of rest for everybody.
Necessary in your view?
Yeah, after what I saw this past weekend, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one thing the Mets did to the Phillies, they grinded them. They grinded the starting pitching. Look at Gibson, 4 1/3 innings, 105 pitches. You look at what he did. Look at what they did to Aaron Nola. I mean, they made him throw a lot of pitches. And the why the Mets are so good, they follow off a lot of 2-strike pitches. And if sooner or later, you have to understand, as a hitter, sooner or later, it's like, okay, there's going to be a mistake in here somewhere. And once they got that mistake, they didn't miss it against Nola. They didn't miss it against Wheeler, and they certainly didn't miss it on Sunday. And the one thing you look at in this type of situation is, okay, if you didn't like what you saw, if you felt like your pitchers got grinded as they did, you give them that extra day. You spread them out a little bit.
You like it? Like the move?
I don't love it because it's Christopher Sanchez. I mean,
third start.
It's going to be his third start. Yeah. I mean, he's an arm to bring up here and get the job done. But I mean, you got to put yourself into this situation. Would you rather have Aaron Nola on the mound or Christopher Sanchez at that point?
Well, I'm factoring in the opponent. I'm sure Rob Thomson is as well.
That's exactly the point I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
But thanks for bringing it up.
You know it, man. I'm here to help, man.